Hi there boys and girls, Brucey here with the second in my retrospective reviews, and today I am reviewing this, an Ibanez RG550, one of the original ones. I got this guitar in 1988. It is made in Japan. It wasn't originally this colour. I'm putting up the colour. It was a white guitar. I've done some few modifications, but probably this is between one or two of the most important guitars I've ever owned. As you can see, it's had a real hammering. Obviously this has gone, but that was through my choice. I'll explain a little bit about what happened to the white colour. Probably around 1990, 1991, I thought I was really cool. I thought I was an artist, and I thought I could compete with Joe Satriani's artwork that he'd drawn with a pen on the guitar. So I started writing with black pen all over the guitar. This is before we realised what value things would potentially have in the future. Also, I was a teenager. What did I care? I was playing my guitar. I love my guitar. So I wrote all over it, and it looked awful eventually. It was just terrible because I'm not an artist. And I wrote some stupid things on there. I can't remember, like spelt wrong or whatever. It was just really dumb. At the same time, Nuno Betancourt came into my life, and I'd managed to try one or two natural finish guitars, and I really love natural finish guitars. There's something about the resonance of the wood, the fact that the slight resonances of the wood are not trapped in by the paintwork. So I stripped it down. I stripped it down with help of my grandfather. Thank you, Grandad. It was a long, arduous task. We didn't really know exactly what we were doing, but we stripped it back to the wood and then we varnished it. I then realised I had done an awful job with the varnish, and you can see another picture. I painted it brown. It's not exactly the look. It just looked terrible. But I persevered and I gigged with it for many years. And finally I succumbed and got I got Steve at Guitar Workshop to actually do this job properly. As you can tell, you know, maybe I should have left it painted because you can tell that the body has actually been glued together. There's some glue joints here, but it doesn't matter. This is my darling. This is my beautiful guitar. I will say, in this day and age, as you may have noticed in a lot of my other videos, when I'm performing, I do play a lot more Strat these days. And one of the things I find when I come back to this guitar, if you notice, the neck on this is so thin. The Wizard neck is incredibly thin. It's thinner than on any of my other Ibanez RG series. I've got 5 of them at the moment. It's my favourite model of guitar. What can we say about this? It's got the old school Ibanez logo. It's made in Japan. I don't know if you can see that. It's made in Japan. It's got the Edge tremolo, one of the first ones. The modifications I've made to this, it doesn't have the original pickups. It's got bare knuckle Miracle Man pickups that I switched in, and I also put in this switch here, which is a coil tap for the neck humbucker. Again, from my Stratty days, I love the sound of a single coil in the neck, but the grunt of that, so you can coil tap that pickup. Aside from that, it's had a new switch, but everything else is original as it was when the guitar came. It plays really well. Like I say, I'm struggling a little bit because I don't play as much shred as I used to, and I don't do that kind of stuff anymore, and I find the neck for long periods it's a little bit harder to play on because it's so thin, and I'm used now to a much chunkier neck and it's a bit easier to dig in. But for a guitar that I've owned for 30 years, we've been around the world together. You can see here, you can see some of the original colour that varnish that I put on and did a terrible job with. It was just a little bit too deep, but we've gigged together. You can see the wear there, sorry, on the neck plate, quite worn. It's also had a refret as well, because you can tell it's been well loved and well played. As I keep saying, I keep coming back to, been around with this guitar, gigged this guitar, it's been in horrible dyes, it's been all over the place. I've recorded so many tracks with this guitar. It's probably maybe not the #1 that I play all the time now, but it's certainly my #1 most important guitar from a time when I was really getting into guitar studying and really loving the guitar. My guitar heroes at that point were Joe Satriani and of course Steve Vai, who's been my hero, mentor, whatever. You know, I can't say enough about Steve Vai and his importance in my life. While I might not necessarily play like him or aim to play like him, his life teachings and his compositional theory are just what really inspire me, as well as his work ethic and his idea about being who you are and creating what you want to create. So having a guitar which isn't a gem, I know, but is the series that came after it, that's all I could ever wish for. I think the guitar back in the day cost me about £500, but it didn't cost me. I saved up, I think, 3/4, and my mum put in the rest to help me out to make it. It came with a really nasty gig bag, which I think is up in my loft somewhere. It protected it though. Going to say, you know, just a thin kind of cotton gig bag, it wasn't a hard case or anything. It's been thrown around with that, and it still works. The insides are a little bit ripped to pieces, but all in all, you know, it goes to show that you don't need so much gear. You've got things that will last you a lifetime. This hopefully will keep going and going and going, and I'll look after it because this is my number one. I love this guitar. If you've got any questions about the RG550, please do drop me a line and I will be glad to answer them. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please do click the like button for me to do more of these reviews. I'm going to be doing a lot more retrospective reviews coming up. So tune in, subscribe, hit the notification, and you'll be notified when a new one comes along. I've been Brucey, and I will catch you later. Hi there, boys and girls. Brucey here. Just wanted to say a massive thank you for checking out my channel. Please do subscribe if you like what you see here. Please do fire away any questions you might have. More than happy to answer them. And if you are in the mood, please do check out my guitar creativity book, which has a whole wealth of information on ways that you can be creative and develop your technique and develop your playing in new and interesting ways. Catch you later.